Three parties will be on Illinois' ballot for the race for the White House, the first time since the early 1970s. Either a Libertarian or Green Party candidate won't be there. WIFR reporter Sydney Stoffregan talks to the chairman of the Illinois Libertarian Party, who says despite their candidate not being on the ballot, they will still support him.
In 1972, the Libertarian Party made its first appearance on the ballot in the race for the White House. A little more than 10 years later, the Green Party made it onto the ticket. Flash forward to 2024, both parties would be disqualified due to a lack of support.
About 98% of Illinois voters can write in.
That's the plea from members of the Libertarian and Green parties, whose picks will not appear on Illinois ballots for the first time in decades. Rockford University professor Bob Evans says third parties were expected to grow, but in this high-stakes election year, many Americans stick strictly to red and blue.
Third parties are either dropping off the ballot or at least showing weakening signs. It's noteworthy in that it's a reversal of a trend that had been going on for quite some time.
Bill Redpath, the chair of the Illinois Libertarian Party, blames Illinois ballot access laws, which he believes made it difficult for candidate Chase Oliver and running mate Mike Termott to make it on the ticket. Oliver needed 25,000 signatures from registered voters in a 90-day window without help from the National Party.
Difficult, bordering on impossible to do 25,000 valid signatures with just volunteers. And so that's really the reason why the Libertarian presidential ticket is not on the ballot this year in Illinois.
In some close elections, Evans explains third-party candidates can tip the balance, something the two leading parties fight to avoid.
They want it to be head-to-head Trump to Harris. So the candidates for the two parties and their parties are actively discouraging third parties.
Redpath urges supporters to write in Chase Oliver on Election Day. He says the party intends to return to the statewide ballot in the future.
Thank you, Sydney. And Green Party candidates Jill Stein and Butch Ware also failed to get the 25,000 signatures needed to appear on the Illinois ticket. That party also encourages write-in votes.